Good morning everyone. This is the Hindu newspaper for the day, and in this small video I am going to tell you the most important articles that you must go through. Remember, in this video I will not be doing any in-depth analysis. I am just going to tell you the important articles that you can read yourself. Let's get started. So this is the front page of the today's newspaper, and here we have first news, and this news is coming from the Tamil Nadu. And actually what is happening there, a religious procession was going on, and because of the electrocution and because of some fire, 11 people died, which is a very unfortunate incident. But from the UPSC's perspective, you can definitely leave this topic. It does not contribute anywhere in your syllabus. Second topic that we have is why can't Paravilum be released Supreme Court. It's a very important topic from the today's newspaper, and this article is going to tell you the power of the governor to pardon a particular criminal on the advice of the council of ministers of a particular state. Along with that, it is also going to tell you about center-state relationships as well, and article about article 167, so 161. So this is an important article. Apart from this article, you can you can read from the powers of the governor as well, and the comparison between the powers of the governor and the president when it comes to pardoning power, remit, commute, and everything about a particular criminals. So then this article is important from the polity perspective. So GS paper 2 se we can cover this. Then we have states not passing on the fuel duty cut to people. If you read this article, it seems to be a very political kind of article, but yes, from the exams perspective, you can definitely cover the topic of GST and how GST is applied on the center level, state level, and the IGST, which is interstate trade. But here the problem is of the fuel, because fuel is not a part of GST. Then what is the role of center and the state government, and how they levy the duties and the taxes on the this petrol, diesel, and everything? And this is how prices of the petrol and diesel are very high. And so from that perspective, you can cover this topic. Otherwise, if you read line by line, it is going to be very political. So from that perspective, Supreme Court fixes final sedition hearing. In yesterday's paper, there was also a sedition article which was 124A of India's IPC. This article is not important for you, but as a whole, you must know about the sedition, UAPA, history of sedition, and the implication of sedition, drawbacks of it, and the arguments which that government provides in favor of this article. So from that perspective, you can read. Otherwise, this particular news is not that much important. Delhi should be under the center's control. Yes, you can go through it, but not the news, but the issue. What was the issue? But 3 municipalities in the Delhi region, they were merged together, and the Kejriwal government was actually opposing it very vehemently. Why? Because it basically disturbs the relation between UT, central government, and the state legislature. So from that perspective, you can definitely read it, but don't go too much into details. Then we have center begins evicting eminent artists from the government houses. You can ignore this article. Then we have loudspeaker removed from the religious sites. This particular news is not important, but that controversy going on regarding free speech and the use of the loudspeaker, or is it a stand of the Supreme Court on this issue, and the historical judgments which were there regarding this loudspeaker and all thing. You can definitely go through that, but don't go too much into details. Then we will move to the next page, which is our page number 5, and here we have only one important news, which is this. SSLV development flights key in 2022. So this news is coming from the ISRO. So from our GS paper 3, this topic can be covered, because ISRO is planning to develop something kind of very small or baby rocket. They have mentioned it a baby rocket, because they are so small that they are going to carry hardly 120 ton of the satellite. So you can definitely read it. So now we have SSLV, we have PSLV, and we have GSLV. So what is the difference between them? What is their power? What is their range? And what is the technology? What are the stages of the fuel? All those things can be covered from your GS paper 3 technology wala part. Next topic that we are going to have is the next page, which is page number 6, and this topic can be definitely ignored, but if you have time, then you can go through it from the surface only. This topic can be removed, it can be left, because this is kind of very political, but yes, this is the most important article for today's newspaper, because this article is going to have a direct question from it. Why? Because It talks about the hydrogen energy, it's talk about the clean energy, it's talk about the future of energy in India and the world. It talks about the technology that government is going to develop. It talks about the initiatives that government has taken. It also talks about the challenges that we are going to face for this hydrogen technology, and even it is going to tell you the suggestions. It has provided you some suggestions also that how in future we can go about this hydrogen technology. So yes, this topic can be covered from here. Even you can save this topic for the future, because question is going to come from this topic. This is my guarantee to you. Social dialogue for the safe workplace. Mostly you will see that many facts are given here, but yes, from the surface it seems to be important topic. You can just take one reading from this. Next, we are not these are not important. Let's move to the next page. Next page is kind of important, because Indonesia has decided that they are going to ban palm oil, and Indonesia is the largest producer and the supplier of the palm oil in the world, and this is going to impact India as well, because India is completely dependent on Indonesia for the palm oil. So what is going to be the implication on India, and why Indonesia has taken this step, and what is the status of all other vegetable oils like soybean, palm, and rapeseed and all that. So definitely you can go through this, but don't dive too much into it. But yes, the issue is basically important for you. Even if you go from the agriculture perspective, you can definitely know about the climatic conditions and the weather situation, soil, rainfall, which is required for the growth of palm oil. What are the steps that government is going to take in India to increase the growth and the cultivation and the production of the palm oil? Because recently government has taken some steps to increase the production of palm oil in the northeast India. So what are those steps, and what is going to be the implication of all these things on India as well? So those topics can be covered from here. Now this topic is completely unimportant for you, can leave it. Then we have page number 9. Even like this topic seems to be important, but just take one reading. It will talk about the sustainable development and how the health of adolescents and the improvement in the healthcare sector can help us to achieve the sustainable development goal, because we have 2030, which is the last year we need to achieve sustainable development goal, and how countries in South Asia, India, and South Asian countries, they are lacking behind actually to achieve these sustainable development goals. So that topic can be covered from that sense. So this seems to be important for me, and personally I like this session, this kind of article. Know your English, I love it, but if you are interested in improving your language or then whole thing, then you can go through it. Otherwise not important. Next topic that we have is on the page number 10. So this is the continuation of the topic from the first page. This is also from the first page, and this is labor code to be rolled out soon. So this is the topic actually about the labor codes, because Indian Parliament has passed in 2019 and 2020 labor codes, but they have not come up with the rules, and without rules, without the proper procedure SOP, laws cannot be implemented. So government has decided that now they are going to have proper codes so that these laws can be implemented. So from that perspective you can definitely go through it. It's important. Then next we have is next page, which is page number 12. Ukraine doing better at the tactical. Not that much important, because it is just a meeting between Navy Chief of India and the commander of the US Indo-Pacific Command. They were talking about Ukraine issue, Russian issue. So they are just exchanging their views. So not that much important. You can definitely leave it. J&K hydroelectric power project is approved. This is basically on the Chenab River, and what is the name? Kwar hydroelectric project. So yes, you can know the name of it. Even what is the issue between India and Pakistan about the sharing of the water, so that can also be done. And what is that India-Pakistan Indus Water Treaty, and that was done in 1960. So you can go through that as well. So it is important in that sense. Particular news, not that much important. Name of the project, issues between India and Pakistan, yes, that can be covered. Then on next page, which is page number 13, which is the foreign or world news here. So you can, from the surface you can go through it. Russia has now stopped supplying gas to Poland and Bulgaria. So why they have done that? What is the importance of Russia for the Europe, and what are the sanctions of Europe over Russia, implication on India? So those are the news which is going on like from like more than 2 months. not that much important, but yes, you can know some locations in Europe. Where is Poland located? What are the other countries surrounding it? Where is Bulgaria? And so that kind of thing that can be covered. Otherwise, you can even leave it if you do not have time. Sri Lanka, big businesses, Mount Sri Lanka. Sri Lankan issue has been going on for like more than 2 months. Not that much important because already we have covered a lot about this topic, so it can be left now. Now, rich people in Sri Lanka, they are also going to, they are actually pressurizing the government to do something about the economic situation which is going on there. So that can be left as of now. In future, if there is some new dimensions, we can cover it. China urges Pak. Look, there was an attack in Pakistan where 3 Chinese people were killed in that attack. So relation between China and Pakistan is a little bit tense here. Not that much important for us, but yes, what is happening in Balochistan, role of Pakistan in Balochistan, that movement, some idea we should have. Not that much important, but yes, somehow. Janta courts sue ki for the 5 years for corruption. Not this particular news is not that much important, but what is the motivation or what is the issues behind this whole news? Because military coup was happening here. Sang Suu Kyi was also under house arrest. She was also in the past were house arrest for the more than 20 years. She came back and all that. So that story you must be having already some idea about it. But yeah, particular news is not that much important because this is happening in Myanmar for a long period of time. So that can be left here. And the last one that we have is page number 14, which is business page. Center enhances the subsidy of the non-urea fertilizer. Yes, it's a very important news because it's called DAP. So DAP, which is called diammonia phosphate. So this is a non-urea fertilizer that farmers use in their fields. Fertilizer of urea is not that much of great concern these days, but this is important because most of the DAP is imported by India from the Ukraine and Russia, and because of the crisis that supply chain is disturbed and price of DAP is increasing. So government has decided, okay, we are going to help farmers in some way, so they have decided to provide some fertilizer subsidy. So issue of fertilizer subsidy as a whole, and what type of fertilizers that we use, why we use them, Indian soils and all that topic can be covered from the broader sense of geography. But yes, this particular news you can mention and how these things work. So from the economy perspective, subsidy thing, and from the geography perspective, fertilizer thing, the both can be clubbed together and you can have a overall understanding of the topic. So that can be done from here. All other topics are not that much important. Sports news is not important for us. So friends, this is the whole scenario for the day, and these articles, these are the articles that you can definitely go through. Some of them might be very important that you can take some notes from them. Some of them you are not that much important, you can just have a surface reading from those articles. So this is all for the day. Thank you very much. And if you like this video, if you think that this video is useful for you, you can definitely like the video. You can even in our comment section, you can provide us some solutions and some suggestions so that we can improve this thing in future. And if you want that future videos, for future videos you need to get some notification, please subscribe to our channel. So this is all for the day. Thank you very much. All the best and Jai Hind.